Okay guys, this is a video that I just couldn't make. I just finally got the guts up to it. I just don't think I could have made it through it without crying. As you know, we're sitting in Twinkie's cage. We lost Twinkie about 2 months ago, and it's devastated us. It's been my dream for 30 years to own a world record giant python of any kind. I didn't care if it was reticulated or Burmese. Twinkie was a special snake. She was so tame. She was so big that we went to Jay Leno one time on Jay Leno's show, and we got there and they planned on had a slot for her to come out on the stage, and they looked at us and said, she's too big, we can't get her in and out, and they had all this money invested in the rest of the show and these big huge signs, so they cut Twinkie out. But I did get my picture with Jay Leno. Now a lot of people think a lot about Twinkie, like how she was overweight. The truth is, we've been struggling with Twinkie for the last 3 years, almost 4. We weren't sure what was going on, and I honestly think we became a product of our worry. What happened was we purposely didn't want to breed Twinkie because we felt like, you know, we can get eggs from any of our snakes. This is my favorite snake, you know. Everything can have problems in childbirth. Women would die today on a regular basis in childbirth if it wasn't for C-sections and all the different techniques that they do these days. And I just didn't want to take that risk. But little did I know that what I was trying to do was change nature. I'm still not 100% positive, but at the end of the day, what I believe happened was the reason why she wasn't eating very good for so many years, the last 3 years, she'd only eat maybe 6 to 12 rabbits a year, 1 year, and that's just not her normal diet. And of course, she didn't lose any weight, and the reason why was these eggs. What was happening was she would go off food like any other retic, but any other retic that lived in the wild would have the freedom to escape its cage. It wouldn't be in a enclosure, and it would be around, and a male would have gotten to it. And of course, we breed thousands of reticulated pythons. So we just figured, okay, we'll just leave it alone and let her go through her cycle. She reabsorb and everything would be normal. Well, I'm not a scientist. I haven't done years of anatomy on a reticulated python. So little did I know what was happening was those eggs would swell up, shrink back down. But the part that apparently nobody knew, because the last world record snake died from ovarian cancer, and the one before that died from ovarian cancer. And I'm not sure if that's exactly what they died from, but it's definitely from the eggs. Now, we're going to do a necropsy on her, but the reason why we haven't done a necropsy on her yet is because we've been talking to a couple big organizations about placing her for she can live forever. And live in, be immortalized in either, a big museum of some type. Right now we've been discussing it with Ripley's, and Twinkie, I just tell you, it was my life dream to own a snake like that. And she's been so big for so long, I just thought she was going to live forever. It was around her 11 years old. She's a little over 11. I did talk to some people. She was the last living one from that clutch. I don't know why, I don't know, but she should have lived more than 11 years old, and I'm sure she could have. This snake here is about 10, but there's a fundamental, completely different thing we did with this. We've been breeding her for her entire life. Matter of fact, her last clutch was 85 eggs. She's really close to Twinkie size. We hope that she makes the new world record at some point. But it's not all about world records, I'll tell you, because even though I wanted the world's biggest snake, they actually came to me to put her in the book. I didn't go to them. And but I'll tell you, what happened was the eggs would swell up, shrink up, swell up, shrink up. Little did I know, or anybody know, that every time those eggs shrank back down, they did not shrink back down to their original size. So in essence, what ended up happening, these eggs became bigger and bigger and bigger inside of her. So a lot of you know, we'll post a video that I have on my phone that's never been seen. We actually bred Twinkie. When we bred Twinkie, she immediately ovulated. Just a few hours she ovulated because she was so ready to do it. But we knew that the eggs would probably be infertile, given the fact, the reason why we were breeding her, we had come to the conclusion that these eggs were swelling up, shrinking, And so we knew these eggs were old and they just needed to get out of her. Because we decided that, you know what, Mother Nature knows better. We should have bred her anyway, taken the risk early in the game. Maybe Twinkie would have never made it. I don't know. Maybe she could have had problems at some point. But at the end of the day, we found our destiny, and what happened was we bred her, she laid her eggs. At that point we thought we're going to be okay. Although we knew that we needed inside the females, they're usually 3 sets of eggs. There's eggs that are going to be laid. There's eggs that are like half prepped, like they're about the size of ping pong or a little bit smaller than a ping pong ball, half the size of a ping pong ball, and then there's little tiny ones. So we knew that we had those ones in the middle to deal with. Meanwhile, who would know, but the Prince of Dubai had actually even contacted us, and we went over to Dubai, and he wanted to buy her, but I didn't really want to sell her, so I put a ridiculous price on her. We were offered a lot of money, and and I also knew deep in my heart that we still had 1 set of eggs to get through in order to get through this. And so we had her on display. After she laid those eggs, she returned to almost normal feeding. We took it easy on her, fed her kind of slow. She's acting completely normal. And then her cycle went. Now the part I didn't tell you was the reason why we were aware of those eggs having a problem inside of her. These eggs got so big that we believed that they were the size of an egg that was in the middle of ovulation that caused her to go in a pre-egg laying shed. Twinkie was in a pre-egg laying shed for 2 years. We didn't know what was happening. We tried a few things, just boom, 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 lay. I mean, shed. And what ended up happening, her cycle got further apart after that, and was still, I believe, on the pre-ovulation shed, to be honest, from the eggs that were still in her. But which is almost back to normal. But when she would eat, she would eat everything normal, everything was right, and we knew that the next time she went into blue, we were going to make the move to not only try to get eggs, hoping that maybe we could get fertile eggs. So we moved her in the back room. She'd been there for months. She was eating real schedule. Everything was good. We were prepping her, letting her be ready to breed. She went off food, and we started introducing our males. And when she went off food, unfortunately, I believe what happened is either 1 egg burst or she actually has cancer. And one of the 2 things happened. We've been breeding pythons for forever. This is like my 28th year of breeding pythons. And one day I went and looked at her and I thought, man, she's not looking good. The next couple days, we thought we were getting ready to maybe do a culture. She started having a little respiratory. And the day we were going to come in and medicate her, somebody came in and I was taking him in the back room to show him, and because they'd come, to see Twinkie, like a lot of people have. She wasn't special to me. My daughter cried for days. Here I go. It's very devastating to lose something you've had for 12 years that you could count on. That was tame, that was your buddy. You could open the cage, let anybody pet her. Animal control wouldn't even allow us to have people come sit with her and take pictures with her. And it was that even devastated me a little bit, because she was just something I wanted to share with the world. And I intend to go forth and share her with the world, and either in some kind of media. I don't know how it'll be, but she will live here forever. Came on a very bitter note. It was our 5th year anniversary for the Reptile Zoo. Anyway, I'm going to cut out of here in a second for obvious reasons. But it was very disappointing. Those eggs, the second eggs, were obviously too old for whatever reason, and we lost her at 11 years old. I'm going to look into it, because there's a possibility that the date we had for her hatching was actually a clutch after her clutch. So she might have been 12 or 13. Found that out actually today on somebody calling, because obviously it was something we had to come out and tell everybody, but it was a tough moment. And so if you've been here, you were probably told what happened, but I asked people to kind of keep it under the cuff, just because I wanted to announce where she was going also in this video. But unfortunately I haven't came to an agreement that seemed fair to me so far, and we're working on it. So stay tuned. It's not over. Twinkie's going to be immortalized at either like some kind of big organization, or maybe even here, but we'll see. Anyway, she's our new girl. We're probably going to name her. Keep in mind, she's not tame. She's a grumpy girl and she's big, and we're gonna have to name her because we need to have a big snake mascot. Her sister's almost as big, but I think this one has the ability to be much bigger than Twinkie. We've never fed her as much as she'd like to eat, just because she lays a lot of eggs. She laid 85. We're gonna breed her. We're gonna breed her every year. We're not gonna skip no years. And if you got a giant snake out there, you zoos out there that don't know why your giant snake died, you need to listen to this, because I did a lot of research and I'm very confident that this is the reason why Fluffy died, Fluffy 1 died, and Fluffy 2 died. And anyway, I don't know about if they shed it every 30 days and before and all that, but she was a legend and she'll always be a legend here. One of the best reticulated pythons, the tamest reticulated python, and she was awesome. A lot of you people say, you know, oh, she was too fat. She was a genetically heavy-bodied snake. This snake is actually a genetically heavy-bodied snake too. Never, hardly ever laid an infertile egg in its life, and you can see how fat she is. The fact is, she laid 85 eggs a few months ago. So, Laura, get up higher so you can see how heavy she is. And so the weight has nothing to do with it, and I guarantee you that those eggs you'll hear the rest of this when we actually get to the point of dealing with her. And thank you for following us, and I hope you continue to follow us. Like the page if you you think Twinkies was the bomb. Rip Twinkie. Peace out, guys.